Well, it's been a bit of a rough ride these past 3 weeks or so that the PTS has been going on for, and as we enter into the final stages for patch 1.8 PTS, I feel like we, the community, have just been struck with another blow. Look, this isn't a video about Rogue 2.0 again or siding with casuals and hardcores. This is different. I was watching Marco's video about 1.8 not being ready, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough watch and I came out of that with a heavy heart. Look, many people have aired their dislikes, their disappointment and their thoughts on the state that the Division is in and where it seems to be heading, but through thick and thin, through ups and downs, I feel like Marco has consistently pioneered his way through with an aura of optimism and positivity. He stood behind the game, he's told us why we should stay, why it's worth the wait, why we shouldn't give up. He even admittedly said that he was very close to making a staple "this is why you need to come back to the Division" video, which, let's be honest, amidst all the animosity and divide in the community right now, would have been a speck of well needed good news. But he didn't. He's the biggest Division content creator, and behind him is a line of fans who take his word as gospel, and rightfully so, because his agenda is behind the betterment of the game and the community and not self-gain. And it sucked as a content creator myself, but more importantly as a fan of Marco, to see him almost admitting defeat. To hear him say that this wasn't right, this wasn't the direction that he thought the PTS would have led us to, and to hear him say that he got it wrong. And who can blame him? If we go back to the trailer release for update 1.8, and back to when we first started getting information about update 1.8, the hype was so real. I know at the time we, the community, were just moving past the glitch issues and the sheer lack of conviction in which the game devs did manage to sort it out, but it was the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel for a large populace of the Division gamers. The most content enriched patch to hit the Division. It had everything we'd asked for and then some. It was a breath of fresh air despite its critiques. A new map expansion, which the community had been begging for, exciting new classified gear and different options. It changed to the stamina scaling from the current 15 health per stamina up to 30, an optimization station which was a huge success, newer exotic weapons such as the House and the Big Alejandro, a whole new reworked Rogue 2.0 system, the Westside Piers PvE horde mode called Resistance, which basically was the Division's equivalent to COD Zombies, and finally a brand new, no fuss, no AIs, small map, close combat, 4v4, squad v squad PvP game mode. The devs took all the feedback they got about Last Stand and implemented that into a whole new PvP game mode, and this was incredible. And the list was big, the list was long, but most importantly, the list was like a Christmas miracle and a dream come true, especially for diehard fans, because this is all of the stuff we've been wanting for a very long time. Now, as far as skepticism goes, update 1.8 had its doubters. Amongst a few, I was one of them too. And obviously, none of us doubt the game out of enjoyment or out of joining the "it's cool to hate on the authority" bandwagon. Rather, it was out of pure disbelief that this will be the patch where they deliver, where the hype that they create wouldn't just be met with poor execution. And sadly but surely, as history has proven time upon time again with the game and its bigger patches, this time was no different. So for those of you who don't really know what I'm talking about, the PTS is now going to come to an end. It won't be that really long, detailed, multi-phased PTS that we were all under the assumption was going to be happening. And what's been the outcome? Nothing. Nothing has been the outcome. I mean, that is unless you include minor changes here and there. But minor changes isn't what we're looking for. Not when this patch is boasted as the biggest content update in the Division's history. The PTS is there for one reason. That reason is for the community to give feedback to the developers about their new update, about what needs changing and what needs reworking, about where changes need to be implemented with a higher degree of priority and urgency, and about what we don't think will be good for the game. Sadly, in this instance, it's almost as if the rush to get this patch overshadows the feedback. I mean, we've talked about Predator's Mark and Nomad, mentioned how they were far too overpowered, We've talked about Rogue 2.0 and begged for some changes. We talked about the shield and its PvP multiplier, and we talked about a lot of other things, and it seems like it was almost to deaf ears. Look, I know a lot of people will look at this video and probably assume that this is just another crybaby video, but it isn't. It's simple, understandable, and logical thinking. If you're going to release the biggest update for a game that is this far into its life cycle with a declining community, take your time with it. I'm sure myself and 99% of the other players will agree that we'd rather wait longer for a patch that is 100% up to par, as opposed to being given yet another broken patch with major changes desperately needed. It's a history that's been repeating itself since update 1.4. There is no merit in releasing this patch in such a haste, only for there to be a vast variety of major issues and then releasing multiple client patches. It's a cheap way to a quick buck. It's like promising to remodel your house and giving it to you weeks and months before you expected it, and giving it to you when it's not even done being fully refurbished. If your agenda at this stage of the game's life cycle is to reel a larger populace back into the game, then where are you going to bring in that retention factor from? Yes, you might bring back a large number of players with all the new exciting content, but there won't be any retention once people start realizing things are going wrong and start pointing them out once again to deaf ears, and it's the same repeated cycle. So why did we have to go wrong with this one, Massive? This was the promissory gold mine, the answer for all our troubles, and you nailed it in the bag. The content was great, the concepts were brilliant, and the work that was put behind the scenes to make it all happen was phenomenal. You had it all and you just let it go. And I don't know, maybe it's not too late for them to go back on what was said on State of the Game, and maybe this entire video becomes pointless in a week when they announce that the PTS will continue a little while longer. As far as I can tell, we're getting an unfinished 1.8 in a couple of weeks, and that's going to have people turning around and giving Massive the big one and walking away, and some even walking away for good. And to those, I say I don't blame you. 99% of the gamers for your game will happily wait a few months longer if it means that you get this update 100% correct. I mean, after all, it is the people's update, so to say, the answer to all our troubles, so why rush it? Are you really that short on funding that you need to make a quick buck? Or maybe your backing from Ubisoft has been cut down and you're struggling to keep afloat. But looking at this purely from a business standpoint, this is what you call a rushed decision or dealing a bad hand. In terms of looking at it from a long-term point of view, there is zero benefits of releasing this right now. Zero benefits of not implementing change that 99% of the PTS players have given you. Zero benefits to rushing this out only for there to be 2 to 3 client patches coming around without any conviction. And yet I hold my breath. I got asked why I haven't been playing the PTS all that much this last week or so. Why have I barely been bringing out any build videos and intros, and the answer is quite simple. After numerous times of being neglected, just as almost everyone is feeling right now, I've had enough. I have little to no motivation to keep giving feedback to deaf ears. The answer, Massive, if you do watch this, is very simple and is very precise. Continue with the PTS and implement changes. There's no point bringing out exciting new classified gear when 1 or 2 are going to reign supremely dominant over the others. It forces a meta and it kills the diversity you were so desperate to achieve. Adhere to the changes of Rogue 2.0. Listen to the community and what the community wants, especially since you claim that this update is what the community has been asking for. Fix the things that need to be fixing, because we're happy to wait a few more weeks or even months, contingent on the fact that we get a fully polished, well balanced and all-round a great update to enjoy. If not, and if this is going to be the repeat of update 1.7 except with a few new shiny things, then you've let us down once again. And as a developer for future projects, you're letting yourselves down, because all this goes to show is that you do not have the capacity to operate a potentially large title. It hinders your reputation for quality and deliverance with future titles, and it just gives you an overall bad reputation as a game developer. So I'm just going to go ahead and end this video on that note. I mean, I could go on much longer. I definitely have a lot more to say, but I think the main points that I needed to say have been said. If you enjoyed this video, which I don't think you did, to be honest, because I didn't even enjoy making this, I guess hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon.